end of the table, we have the flying angel in the European sky.
Zsombor, Jeger.
Zsombor, Jeger. Next to him, we have the very complex Dr. Stern, Merab, Minidze. And then next to him, we have Kata, the scriptwriter. Finally, just next to me, a very loyal attendee of Cannnes, Kornél Mundruczo, Delta 2008, got the Fiprici Award, Johannes 2005 at Un Certain Regard, Tender Son Official Selection 2010, White Dog, the Certain Regard Prize in 2014. We have, of course, Kornél Mundruczo, to whom I shall ask the first question.
Could we say that the subject of your previous film, White Dog, and Jupiter's moon are very close?
Yes, definitely. We can say that.
Can you develop?
Yeah, I mean, what we find with White God, that was really important for me that time, and I felt this is kind of empty territory, open it behind it, and yes, even the two films has a strong connection with the question. Both is about belief and about different perspectives where you can watch a story, and hopefully this new movie Jupiter's Moon develop it, the question what we just start to find in White God.
Yes. Question here.
My question is for the director. When Aaron was flying, his arms have this movement. I want to know that is that choreographed or maybe he improvised?
Actually, ask him. But yeah, I mean, it was more choreographed, but also it was both kind of a mixture. We do a lot of rehearsals on this because you have to know this is all real, which means, of course, he cannot levitate, not yet. But
we don't believe it. He can.
Yeah, but we use relocations and cranes and wires, and we shoot there, which was really difficult. But at the end, we felt that's much more realistic, so we have to do it on this way.
Bonjour, Anna
Pokret de Georgia.
Je m'intéresse comment et pourquoi il a choisi Merab Minidze.
Why did you choose Merab Minidze for this part?
I saw Merab actually in a Russian movie by Alexei German, Paper Soldiers, and that was really touching for me, especially his play. And I'm targeting several times to have him, but he said no. And then I targeting more, and I gave to script this one, and luckily he picked up. I think what he can do as an actor is just so unique, and that the quality is acting, which is in between own personality and high-level acting. It's really on the edge, and it comes together. It's very rare. It's just really fantastic in my eyes. So I'm so happy to work with him.
And maybe we could ask Merab Minidze why this time he said yes.
Yeah, he wouldn't leave me alone. He was. It's a very nice story actually. It took a couple of years that we really worked together, and I really thank you for not giving up on me. And I think it was because I was scared, because it was very demanding. I thought I had to learn Hungarian. I was afraid of language barrier because it spoils your performance. So that was the point. I loved and adored Kornél's movies. I thought he was great always, without knowing him personally. But then when I imagined me performing this script that is so amazing in language that I do not understand, I thought it would take all power that I could have or freedom as an actor away. And I think it was like fear of that and nothing personal. Only good end of the story, it's a happy end because he persecuted me for years. It didn't start last year. It's a story of a couple of years. And it doesn't happen so often. The director sees you in the movie and then he thinks about you for years, how to put you in his movie. Thank you, Kornél Mundruczo. Thank you for this.
Hi, here Rodrigo Fonseca from Brazil. Mundruczo, your film is great. I would like to ask you two things. First, I would like to hear something about the cinematographer, your work with the cinematographer. And second, I thought about several comic book references. I don't know if you used any, especially the Incal, Jodorowsky Incal. Could you tell a few words about the references, if comics were used somehow?
Actually, the levitation is coming from another book, which is not a comic book, but a Russian young adult book by Belyayev called Flying Man. And when I was like 13, 14, I read that book, and I still remember of that phenomenon. And I remember that, can I believe that someone flying? And I was, at that time, naive and innocent, and I felt that, yes, I can. And that's why I pick up that, because it's really childish or childhoodish as well, just to playing and provoking with the idea that someone can fly. And it was really like the first version of the script. We did it on English, and we would like to create as an English-speaking movie. But it doesn't went out. A little bit because of the reason they don't believe anyone can believe on flying on screen if it's not a superhero. And for your second question, the superheroes, yeah, I mean, this is a strong references. Of course, we are joking with that idea more, but for me, he's much more an angel type creature, and not just a superhero who is coming from Kryptonic, and I don't know. We have no answers exactly where he's come from. He is kind of a mirror. He is kind of much more a transcendental person. He have no real... Actually, they have a relation, but not like a strong human relation. It's much more for a lost soul meet a mirror to himself to sacrifice his life, something like that, more than to have like a Thelma and Louise friendship all over. And for the comic books, yeah, I mean, I don't really know them, so I have no references about that. But and at that time we have more like Hungarian or Soviet drawings. So the science fiction or fantastic books, it was really surrounding, because it was kind of how can I say, in the communism, that was what writers can write, because they cannot directly criticizing. So those books was very deep. Even in movies, the Tarkovsky movies, the science fiction movies, it was just cover some behind the genre serious questions. And the DP is a very young guy. I did with him at God as well. And yeah, we're working very close together to find the cinematic language, which was main goal, that to do something which you never saw before. That was simply like that. So those flyings and also the actions and just make the miracle believable. And how you can make it if you can try to find a language which no one did it on that way. So then you sit the cinema, hopefully, and then like, what was that? What's going on? And then it's create as well the same reaction inside you, then inside the character of that. So that was it. And yeah, of course, he's very talented.
But the film is also about our capacity to believe.
Yes, definitely. I mean, it's always measuring. So, I mean, this movie is makes, in my eyes, provoking questions, also about your belief, and also about different perspectives, and also about freedom, that you can watch it a story on this way, or you can't, or you want to, or you doesn't want to, which is very playful, kind of happily playful from our side, that what if, can someone fly? And yes, it's definitely not a movie which you can put into a box easily, and then you have answers, so you need time after the movie to find your own answers as well. That, what was that? Can I believe or can I not? It symbolized something, or I truly believe, or I'm out of that. So it's really measuring your soul, hopefully.
Hello, I'm also from Georgia. I'm Mariam Bakuradze, TV journalist, and we are very proud here, sitting from Georgian journalists, and we are very proud for our famous actor. And congratulations to make so interesting movie. My question is to you, Mr. Kornél. The main line in this movie is the relation with Gabor Stern and this young boy. I have some different versions, but how do you think? Which is the main thing in this relation? Is like father and son, or like he wants to get money by this guy, or what is the main? What do you think? Yes.
In my opinion, actually, I told already, he's a lost soul who is blind, and then this lost soul starts to see and starts to love. And it's super stereotypic, I have to say, but that's our human goal. That's how we have to change our life. I think it's very simple and very touching. And hopefully this is our story inside. Inside a chaos, inside a chaotic European view, where is the falling is as important word than flying. And then this city and the way how we shoot that movie, which is always everything moving, always everything comes into your face, and it's never stops. It stops inside a room sometimes, and up in the air sometimes. And that's my feeling. That's the tense what I felt as reality in my own country, but I think all over is in Europe. You have to feel this tension. And we really would like to create this tension and pressure inside that movie. And he's sacrificing, and the relation is like that. So I can't say, I mean, to be frank, for me, Aryan, he's an angel, though he's a Muslim refugee, which is also like, what? But also, they have no real relation. He's talking to him. He's like a mirror. We really doesn't want it to do yes, I thought like a Thelma and Louise friendship through that ride, because with an angel it's pretty unbelievable, or it looks strange for me. So.
Hello, Ernesto Garrat from Mercurio, Chile. Congratulations. I really enjoy your movie. It's excellent for me. I have a question for the director. I want to know if you expect some political reaction in your country because the issue of the refugees. And talking about that issue, I want to know how was for you build this relationship between the doctor and the refugee in terms of human behavior. Thank you so much.
My country is a European country. We call the movie Jupiter's Moon. You learn it because you saw it. This is Europe, and we really would like to stamp it. That's a European problem. So, of course, my country, one of a European country which is not gave, in my opinion, the best answers of that problem. And there are lots of mistakes and hysteria and craziness and looking for answers, supported by the government, but also supported by the nation, I have to say. And still, it is true, this is a strange country, but from inside is definitely not as black and white than from outside. And you have to learn, if you are from South America, that nothing is black and white where you are living in a city or in a country where we are living, more suburbians. But when I'm working abroad, Germany, France, Belgium, and so on. So there are lots of problems like that. So we are together in that crisis, which is also kind of a hope that we can answering again the same old questions: what Europe means, what this 1,200 years tells to us, what is humanity, what is moral, what is love, and so on. So in one hand, yes, we are in crisis, we are in chaos, we don't find ideological answers. The previous ideologies not really give new answers for that problem, but it's also a possibility in my eyes. And I never felt that I'm really living in my present, and I felt now since like 4 or 5 years that I'm living in my present, and I have real responsibility of my decision.
I'd like to ask Jeger how Kornél Mundruczo described to you the character and the responsibility of becoming an angel.
Describe? Saját karakterem.
Mond magyarul és fordítja, Viki.
Hát igazából igen, egyszerűbb talán, hogyha fordítasz. Azt a létezést, vagy azt a létezést próbáltuk meg, vagy próbálta meg megtalálni bennem, ami egy ilyen, hát nem egy ilyen ártatlanság, vagy egy ilyen rácsodálkozás a világnak, és arra törekedtünk, hogy minden, ami engem körülvesz, az mind új és új dolog tulajdonképpen. Ez, vagy hogy, igen.
He was looking for kind of an existence where everything is new for someone, so he can experience for the first time things as he arrives to a place, and he kind of experiences those things with a complete innocence. So he was looking, when he was describing this role, he was looking for this kind of existence of being innocent and new somewhere.
And as it is his first movie, his first part, what did he feel? How did he feel the film altogether, and the difficulty of flying?
Hogy érezted magad, és hogy milyen volt a nehézségeivel megküzdeni?
Hát itt most ha ketté lehet választani, akkor egyrészt van egy technikai nehézsége, és van egy olyan dolog is, ami pedig az a nehézség, hogy én haza tudtam menni esténként, amikor vége volt a forgatásnak, és ezt valószínű, hogy az a fiú, akit én játszom, ez nem tudja megtenni, ez eléggé nehéz volt.
Just for a second, I'm translating. So we have to divide two things here. One is the technical difficulty, which I had to fight during the flying scenes, and the other one is the emotional, the simple fact that I could go home after the shooting days, and most probably the person or the character whom I representing cannot. So that was kind of an emotional difficulty to face.
És hát technikailag pedig hát nem volt egyszerű, nyilván a magasság miatt sem, meg igen, ez nem volt egyszerű.
Yeah, so pleased to say. Technically, it was really not easy for me up in the air, so the heights. I add here as a producer that it was 30-40 meter, like actual 30-40 meter. So yes, he says it was difficult.
Well done.
Test. It's working. Chris Burns for Euronews. 2 questions. One is, was Zsombor's character inspired by the German who was shot and bled to death on the Berlin Wall years ago? Was that character initially an immigrant, or did you adapt that character to the sign of the zeitgeist of today? And second of all, you sort of answered it earlier, but do you have a message with this film to Mr. Orban? Thank you.
I don't know that character. I'm sorry. So it was not inspired by that at all. No, I mean it's really a political movie. Yeah, provokingly political movie, but not for our own government and not for Mr. Orban. And I have to say again, my problem is your problem as well, if you are European. So, of course, Hungary is an example, and from a perspective is a bad example. But it can be easily everywhere. So it's our responsibility, what is our answers to that affection, what is happening over there. And yes, and once again, from inside, it's not as black and white, but it's really, really affect very strange. And all of those waves, which is coming mostly from the East, or where we lost our European knowledge, that it really scares me as a person. No question about that. But it scares me in Flanders, it scares me in Hungary, it scares me in different places. So just to say that it's completely a direct political criticism to my own nation, yes and no. This is it. And also what we have to find and try to find inside this movie is just you cannot use the same answers which you use it while you are a journalist or a reader of journals. Which means, I think, for the crisis, everyone has answers, even the left, even the right, far right, liberals, anyway. But we really would like to create something politically incorrect, when it's just really comes things together which cannot come together, and you don't find your own point, and you fall as our characters, and then hopefully evokes new questions in you, and that would be a great ride for that movie. But yes, it's pretty critical and political on that way.
National TV and radio from Ukraine. My name is Mariana Kafka, and I have a question for two actors. How deep changed your experience on this beautiful film, your attitude or your point of view for the theme migrants in Europe, what is now very actual for Europe, and perhaps would you like in your future, if it changed at all, and perhaps would you like maybe work as volunteers for migrants, perhaps in your life? Thanks.
When you're an actor, you are not necessarily having ideology behind that, what you do. And it's best way to treat your character, I think. I was not aware of where it leads, but the amazing thing was how we connected with each other, how Kornél, most important for me in this was that he erased everything I have done before this. He made me empty again, which means that there was space in me as an actor to not only be refreshed, but to start from zero, practically, to forget about anything you know as an actor and do it as if it's first time in your life. And I think this was a key point. If I'm clear enough, I'm not sure, but for me, it was whole process was about opening the heart of me as an actor, and then of course it influences you on a human level, because I never really separate my work from my personal emotion or what I stand for in this life. And I always try also that my personal opinion is in the character, but it's not visible for everybody, but I know where I stand as a human being. For me, it was also political. I grew up in Soviet Union, so I know how it feels to be oppressed and still still remain a human being. To make it short, it was a really amazing experience to spend this 4 or 5 months together, and that when it's over, what you get out of this is you cannot measure it, because it's like a treasure you have in your hands, yourself as an actor, as a human being, as a friend, as whoever you are, and you feel that you are born again, and you are cleansed, and you look at things different way. I don't think that I would be really volunteering in that way, but if my work can be attached to that problem, if this, what we did, is echoing in that and motivates somebody to look at things different, I think that's it. And if it's necessary, I would go and entertain people who are in pain, who are refugees, because I can only entertain or interpret something that others channel through me. So maybe that's it. Sorry, it was too long, that speech.
No, not at all. And I just wanted to know, ask you, is your final smile a sort of happy ending?
You're asking me?
Yes.
That we were shooting that 5 or 4 days, where I'm lying on the floor of an elevator. The most beautiful part of it was that Kornél and Vicky were sitting on the monitor, and Vicky says, "We don't want to kill this character." Kornél was like, "Yeah, we don't think about it now, but now you die." And you will be surprised, maybe in the movie you won't die. So it was like, but dying in that elevator for such a long time, I think, was the major thing. It was towards the very, very end of the shooting. They just kept it to the end. And I always thought that Zsombor had the most difficult part to deal, because first, in one hand, you have to be acrobat and sportsman to do that, and have incredible patience. And on the other hand, you as an actor have to add to it and make it whole thing. And I was always like just trying to be supportive and watched him and thinking, amazing what this guy can do, because it's very exhausting physically. You cannot imagine what he had to do there. Come on. And I lost my point. So the dying was a blessing. It was great to be given this meditation for 3 days. You lie on the floor full of blood. You cry because you say goodbye to everything, goodbye to life, and you meet new. And this, if you do it really often, intensively, you go there. You start to really feel connected to death in a very nice way. It's not so scary.
Yes, but your smile is the
This
redemption.
is my message.
Is the redemption of your character.
I think it's this smile was he was insisting, Kornél, of course, and we didn't want to make it corny and like ridiculous and sentimental, but we couldn't keep our eyes dry too, because it would be too simple. But smile, I think, is touching a divine in very simple way. When you touch divine, you can die. It's okay. But if you don't touch, you should use life to look for this divine, which is everywhere, starting from this table, in each of us, each of you. And that's the beauty of my work, that I can die for a week and smile.
Again. Kornél, it's really political, the film provokes reflections, but besides all that, it's a strong action film. I would like you to tell a few words about the car, especially the car chases. If Vin Diesel watched the film, he will call you to direct the next Fast and Furious film for the franchise.
I have no driving license.
Thank you.
By the way.
You will be the next Vin Diesel. Could you tell a few words about the car chases and the action scenes in general?
I mean, he was really pretty difficult. In one hand, the idea behind was those scenes that, how you can make it. And I did kind of action scenes in White God, my previous movie, but with dogs. But when you use the dogs, then you really can do very stereotypically, because it's funky. That, the same scene with dogs. So that was it. But here you cannot do the same scene at all. So that was really difficult to find an art form somehow also for when they are running in the metro, Yeah, and also the car chase. And the car chase, yes, that was the idea. Okay, let's just do one shot. And then it was very expensive. And we really blocked that neighborhood in this Saturday or Sunday morning. And then we used, I don't know how many policemen, like 40, 50. They blocked the roads. And then 2 stunt driver is really do the job. And there was 30 other cars or 20 something, and then this was also stunt cars, and then we do 2 times, and one was successful, which means the hit is happened at the end, and then that one you saw, and yeah, I mean, it's also for us is really crazy scene, and I quite like those scenes. I personally, I enjoy that in filmmaking there is really technical sport as well, like Formula One. Of course, not every film at all. I mean, and also the human face with a frozen camera can be a universe, no question about that. But I myself pretty much enjoy to think it over, what you can do, how you can do scenes which is unique and special, and it's a new kind of way to do the same stuff. But the genres, yeah, I mean, it's also like in White God that was important to mixing those genres, and it's not just, but just make it even more crazy, the whole movie. That if you are, yes, in reality and a social graph, like social reality, but also like in an action film, but it's in a kind of fantastic level, and in my opinion, this is closer to my own reality. I really think that we are not living anymore real genre or clean genres. I mean, we have the boxes, but those boxes are pretty empty. If not, then we are lucky and celebrate, but most of the time it's pretty empty. And yeah, I mean, this is our task to find new cinematic languages.
Yeah, but your film is altogether a parable and an action film and a thriller and a science fiction film. You didn't want to do a refugee film. It's the heart of the film, but altogether is our reality and, you know, all mixed up. Is that so? Yeah,
definitely. I mean, but I mean, for me, it's not surprising. It's like, yeah, I mean, that's our reality. Okay, my reality, I have to say. But yes, I mean, if we are here and our phone is completely different, and the next corner is completely different, and it's like just that's how it comes together. And it takes time also to watch it and also to think. And when it stays to you, then you can spend time. And when I watch things like that. Also in cinema or in museum, or I read a book it's unknown. It's unknown for me, and I'm so much joyful immediately that it's good. I can spend time with that. It's good for me because it's an object which is unknown, and it's open me, and creates my reaction on it. And that's freedom for me. Freedom, even if I fear. Oh no, I don't want to do, what's that? But it's still enjoy my own freedom inside that loss, and it's inside that fall. And that's this movie, and also why God looking for, and it's inside that topic, it's pretty much have a connection.
Yes, in White Dog, dogs are not purebred. Where the strangers, the aliens. Yeah. So it's, exactly. Of course. Yeah. And as theater is as important as cinema for you, for your life and your reality, does it connect with the subjects, I mean, in theater?
Yes, and in theater you have to make much more provoking. It's much less conventional and conservative than movies. and also audience are coming also to entertain, and it's also show business, but not as much as cinema. And I enjoy that playground. But to be honest, that's, you know, in between movies you have to find job. and I find myself inside theater, and I quite enjoy it. And also working with Kata, also in theater and also in films, and it's kind of topics which we are looking for and developing and see how it grows. And I cannot completely divide it, though I think the soul is enough big for two art forms.
The very last question. No, excuse me.
Hola.
Over there.
Hi again from Latin America. I love the balance between fantasy and reality, and following up the previous idea, I want to know if you can comment a little more about how do you balance, because it's so risky do what you did. I mean, it's so easier do only the social thing, but adding fantasies is more complicated, and for me worked very well. Well, thank you so much.
It's always very difficult, but I have to answer very personal. So if I'm starting something, kind of a new film or a new piece of theater, whatever what, if I don't have a fear that Kornél, how you can do this, I don't feel this kind of sparks in me, then I doesn't do, because then it's immediately quite obvious. Even I know, I saw that. Even if it's a well done, well quality, then I saw that. So I really need that unknown territories to go into. So which means, for example, that movie, that how you can do this flying, but also how you can mixing these genres. It's great questions for me, just to find a way. Is there a way or there isn't a way? And it's really important for me always to understand it, that as a viewer, I celebrating that type if I'm watching, even movie, even pictures in a museums or whatever what, and also that's what I'm looking for.
And could we ask what would be the next one, hopefully?
It's two things on our table. One is an American movie called Deeper, which is a deep sea movie with Bradley Cooper, and it's a very crazy and good script. I really like it. Or we just bought rights of a Russian book called Ice by Vladimir Sorokin. Luckily, we target it also since very long. and that will be the last part of that trilogy of perspective and belief, which is also connected. And I can say, because I read that book at 2003, and it's really changed my life. And also White God is always reflecting on that book, and also Jupiter's Moon reflecting on that book. So once would be really great to create Ice as well as the last part of this trilogy.
Once again, hopefully.
Yeah.
And thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.